I competed last year in a competition, all boys. I was the only girl. So it was the experience. I didn't place this year, but that didn't discourage me. I still got scholarship money though. It was still just breaking that stigma of like women aren't in robotics. Like I didn't place, but I was the only woman up there, the only Black woman up there competing in a robotics competition here in Atlanta. I feel like that was a win in itself. The fact that I can take that home and go be inspiring or be an inspiration or a representation to the next person out there, next young Black girl who thinks she just wants to do STEM to some degree. Well, I was here. I had that example for you. So why do you feel like you can't do it?
All right, I'm sitting here with Destiny Adams here at SkillsUSA, and I'm super excited to have you on the show. How are you doing so far this week with everything going on?
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm feeling great. I just had a birthday, so this is a gift to be here right now. So thank you so much. I'm super excited.
Happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
Share with us a little bit about sort of your background in computer science, because I have questions for you because I originally was a computer science major. So I'm going to probably geek out a little bit with you.
Yeah, that's fine.
But tell us a little bit about your background and sort of what you focus on grade-wise.
Yeah, so my name is Destiny Simone Adams. I go by IoT Lab 616 on TikTok. That's where most people can find me, STEM TikTok creator. And yeah, you're right. My overall thing is STEM. I started out in computer science, but I ended up graduating this past May in interdisciplinary studies with a concentration in arts and sciences. So I am an artist and an engineer, but when it comes to STEM, I am very interested in robotics, mechatronics, and just all things related towards electronics. So it kind of just began with this having that exposure at the age of 7 years old. That's when I became really involved with just wanting to innovate, create things. Didn't care what it was. I'll break it, I'll fix it. If I didn't fix it, I'll figure out how to do it. And so my mom and dad kind of just let me have that energy. Just let me play with things. Let me try to figure it out. And then she was like, you know what? You're actually pretty good at this. And then I found out about Black Girls Code in 2012. And that was the very first event where I learned how to pick up any type of technical skills when it came to coding. And I remember making a website. And I just thought it was the coolest thing ever.
Wow.
And from that moment, I was absolutely hooked.
Yeah. And it's interesting. And it's amazing that you found your passion at 7. Like, I don't know what I was even doing at 7. I was like playing with blocks or something.
No, I remember so vividly, 7 years old, because at the same time, I learned how to crochet as well. So I was crocheting, I was knitting, and I was making lanyards and learning how to code all at the same time. So it was a blessing to just be so like open-minded and willing to try new things.
Where do you think that comes from? Sort of, because a lot of 7-year-olds probably not have that sort of like feeling of knowing what they want to do or even passionate. Where do you think that comes from? Is that for anybody in your family, anybody?
I think it's normal. I don't want to have this notion like I just had it all figured out, because I feel like no one does. And especially life is going to challenge you as you start to get older to test you to make sure you know that you don't have it all figured out. But I was willing. Like, I feel like everyone has to have that spark of willingness to be open-minded. Even if you don't like it, it's been a lot of activities where I've tried it and I'm like, you know what? It's not for me, but I see why people enjoy it. So it's just that drive to want to have passion, that drive to want to learn more. I'm yearning constantly to learn new things, to understand how to piece things together, problem solve. So I would just encourage people to really find that drive to just explore, try things, fail at it. Fail is just meaning first attempt in learning. So that's a beautiful acronym to just keep in the back of your mind. Like, even if you don't succeed, it's not about that.
And that's hard because mindset is really difficult, especially this learning that. And even though if failure's out there, obviously whatever you go into, but you have that mindset, how do you keep positive, like positive mindset?
Ooh, I think as I get older, I think I've definitely been strengthening my mindset. It takes a lot of faith and just believing that things are going to work out. Trying to wrap my mind about how things are going to work out, or even when I get stuck in technical issues of trying to force it and figure it out and make it work, it just doesn't. You have to kind of like walk away a little bit, take a break, take a breather, lean on your support system. It's good to have those like-minded people around you that can just like, hey, just take a pause, take a breather, and like, calm you down so that when it's time to redo it or try again, you have it this time. And you'll see that it flows much simpler once you just remove that pressure from just trying to figure it out or trying to make it work. Just relax.
Yeah, not a lot of people can do that. I think it took me 20 years to figure that out.
Yeah. And to find those healthy coping mechanisms that actually work. Because you'll hear things out in society. You'll hear meditate and pray and yoga, but what works for one person doesn't work for the next person. So you have to find what works for you, whether it's just going for a walk, whether it's taking a nap, taking a shower. Like sometimes it's just the small things. You just have to find what works for you.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting because we were talking about, I was going to nerd out for a quick second about programming. And it's interesting. I started sort of in college as a programmer doing C++ and doing advanced calculus. And I could tell you that I was lost the entire time. I remember sitting in the lab on Saturday. Everybody's typing away. It's 2:00. I'm sitting there like, what am I
Where do
doing
I
here?
start?
What am I even doing here? And I'm like, advanced, I'm in the wrong path. I thought I wanted to be there because I remember in school, I walked into the wrong room and they were teaching programming. I just happened to walk in like, oh, that sounds cool. And I spent the next year or two trying to figure this out, and it was the wrong direction. Went into business administration, minored in finance, and then I went into IT, and then I went into selling tools and equipment for the skilled trades, the
Yeah.
people in the trade.
So it's a bunch of pivots and transitions that you're making and trying to learn. And you realize, okay, I'm failing, but not really. I'm just trying to learn how to pivot into a direction that's comfortable for me so that, it makes sense.
Yeah, it's not easy to sort of find your passion.
And that's why I switched majors 3 times in college. Like people would be so surprised because like you knew you had it all figured out. You knew what you liked at 7, but why did you go through this process of switching so much? Because honestly, truthfully, I never went to college. I wanted to keep, I graduated at 16 from high school. I told my mom I wanted to start this business teaching girls how to code. I was already doing it, public speaking engagement, writing a book. So I had these desires. I did not want to go to university. My mom, she was kind of like, well, you've accumulated all the scholarship money from just being active and being academically trying and stuff. So you should take advantage of it. That's a real resource that not a lot of people have an opportunity to do. So I enrolled into college, computer science, and I was like, I really don't want to do this. I feel like I'm wasting my time. The curriculum isn't there. I don't get a chance to be impactful with the students. Like
How many years were you doing this? Was this like,
before I started college, I was teaching girls from 14 to 16 how to code. I was called Destiny Adams International. I would set up coding workshops, tutorials, YouTube videos. I would go out. I had sponsorships from like T-Mobile. So they would send me like swag gifts and I would do like these workshops and stuff. So I wanted to keep that going. I didn't want to go to college. But like I said, I had scholarship money. I chose this route. It was for security. That's that level of stability that people kept reminding me about the workforce and how things were going to change in the future. And so I took that leap and I was like, I'm just going to do it. And that one decision ended up turning into a whole 5-year journey for me. I just finished college in May.
in May?
Yes. And I
Okay.
just had a birthday. So it's kind of like, I spent a lot of time going through a lot of different transformations. I went from computer science, computer information system, now interdisciplinary studies, which is a combination of literally all of those disciplines. And it makes a lot of sense for me. Like going through those transformations and deciding that I was never just supposed to be in one box. I don't like to limit myself to one box. I thought that I was supposed to just be a computer scientist, but I had other plans. I have other passions. I have other intents. I'm very intentful with my skills, my resources, and my talents. And if it's meant for me to do all of them in the way that's integrating them, I'm going to find a way to do that. So that's why I'm like, I don't ever just say I'm just the artist or I'm just the engineer because I'm both of those things. I use different mediums to make art.
Well, what lights you up? Is it the coding aspect? What portion of it really lights you up?
It's the integration and trying to combine multiple disciplines, like even down to wearable technology. So like that's a great example of how I combine technology and art. I'll crochet something or I can sew something and then I can use like little microcontrollers, LEDs, and I can make it light up or like something like that. So to me, that's fashion, that's swag, but that's also intellect, that's problem solving, that's critical thinking, that's those soft skills that you kind of need in order to just be successful. And so I get an opportunity to literally break down all those barriers and go through the process for all of that. And so it's really the process behind it. You said something about C++, and I'm just thinking about the robotic arm that I brought in today
Yeah.
and just that experience alone, how I competed last year in a competition, all boys, I was the only girl.
Wow.
The only girl.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you place last year?
No, I didn't
You
place.
didn't place.
Yeah, I didn't place, but
Okay.
it was just the experience that it was very intense. It was intense. So it was the experience. I didn't place this year, but that didn't discourage me. I still got scholarship money though for my efforts, and I learned a lot. I still went out and I got on TikTok. I was promoting and teaching people how to use these tools and how to even use this technology. Cause like, yeah, I went to go compete and, potentially place and win, but it was still just breaking that stigma of like women aren't in robotics. Like I didn't place, but I was the only woman up there, the only Black woman up there competing in a robotics competition here in Atlanta. You don't hear that often. So I feel like that was a win in itself. The fact that I can take that home and go be inspiring or be an inspiration or a representation to the next person out there, next young Black girl who thinks she just wants to do STEM to some degree. Well, I was here. I had that example for you. So why do you feel like you can't do it?
That's what I love is that you're showcasing, even though that you didn't place, you probably got comfortable with being uncomfortable, meaning, right?
Yes.
But someone follows your journey who says, you know what? She can do it. I can do it. And I love that. And you're
And I was
showcasing.
being honest, being transparent, going on TikTok saying like, hey guys, I'm at this competition. I'm really uncomfortable right
Yeah.
now. I'm really scared. And then I could check back an hour later. I got 50 comments like, you got this. Like, I know you're scared, but it's okay. Even if you don't place, we're here supporting you. So that level of support and that level of community, that level of support that I felt like I created in a sense of community, but also I feel like I want to repay that. So I'm here to create that environment for other Black girls, other girls, period, who just need a place to feel safe and comfortable in a place like STEM environments where it can be so rigorous, it can be so high expectations, so results driven in a place where it's just you just need to innovate. You just want to create, you just want to be, you just want to have room to make mistakes and rooms to fail.
I mean, that's being authentic, right? You putting it out there on TikTok about being authentic and about I'm scared. People can relate
They
to
can
that.
relate to that.
If you're perfect 100%, like no one's going to believe
No
that.
one's gonna believe that.
No.
Or even when I post about my failures all the time, say I didn't get that scholarship I told y'all to go apply for. I didn't get that internship that I told y'all to go apply for, but I put it out there just in case because I'm never going to be the one who hoarders resource. If I have any knowledge or information, I'm sharing it because it was a line of people who did that for me. As I was growing up, like I said, Black girls who code, women in technology, girls who code. I was a part of a lot of organizations and communities and programs out there who supported me, who got me to this point. They probably don't even know I've graduated at this point, but I remember them because they were there a part of literally every single step of the way, every journey. Every time I changed my mind and thought that STEM wasn't for me, you had somebody in my corner or you had that one person, that one mentor, advisor who's like, no, it's for you. And if you have second thoughts about it, let me remind you why you shouldn't. And so it's like, if I had those people in my life, I need to be that to somebody. So that's why I had that mission to train over 1,000 girls to STEM or the opportunities in computer science back in 2018. And I did that. And so now it's like continue to have that drive to move forward, but now just expanding. I'm just trying to figure out, well, what's next? How do I want that to look? Do I want to be more curriculum driven? Do I want to develop a curriculum where I can have a STEM academy and train these girls on a bigger level, on online and in person? Or do I want to go back to school, become a professor? Like, what does that really look like in terms of impact? But I know no matter what, I want to keep being that source of education, that source of resource, that source of community leadership to some degree, because it's like I understand what it feels like to be like needing support, needing a push, just needing a little bit more motivation, just not to give up.
Yeah.
So
Who is the one, if you could think of the one person that really kind of helped you in your path? And you said multiple people,
yes,
but is there one person who really changed the game for you that comes to mind?
immediately it's my mom.
Wow.
Like I would say immediately, like I said, it was a point I didn't even want to go to college. And it wasn't like, oh, you have to go to college, but she kind of broke it down to make it make sense, like long term. Like I'm thinking now, like even if I wasn't to go to college, who would I lean on for support? It would have still been my mom. So anytime mentally I'm having a bad day, I know I can call her. She'll remind me of the things, the experiences that I've already done, the things I've already accomplished. or, the things that like life is just going to happen. So it's good to have somebody in your corner. Like, yeah, she birthed me. That's my mother, but
Yeah,
she's
sure.
also going to keep it very honest, very real with me all the time. She's been through things that I haven't yet. So just to have someone who I know can just kind of share that journey along with me, it means a lot. So,
It is a good feeling to have the support of a parent,
yes.
right? That is not always the case in the trades, right? And someone says, well, I want to do plumbing, I want to do welding. And some parents say, no, 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 no. I don't think you should do that. I think you should go to college. And maybe that's just not the right path for them. So it was great that you have that person in your corner. It really kind of helps you, and it's your support, right,
And then, like I
mechanism.
said, professionally, it's always someone in the room in the space, whether it's at school, I have a scholarship mentor somewhere, I have an academic advisor somewhere, I have a mental health mentor just in case. So you always have to find somewhere in your life, in your circle that you can lean on. That's pivotal no matter what aspect of life, whether it's professional life, career, personal, whatever it is, you need to have your support system and you need to have somebody for something for everything. Like that's just how it works. Even with some of the happiest people or some of the most mentally healthy people still need somebody to talk to and still need somebody to lean on. So
Of course, it's all about relationship.
yes.
Going back to now that was all girls robotics team. Was that separate?
Yeah, well,
Um,
that was kind of tied into it. That was I was talking about Girls Who Code and Women in Technology. The all girls robotics team came after I took the workshop and I realized I was into STEM. Then I kind of went out and was like, okay, well, I want to join the robotics team. And my mom and I, we were doing some research, and lo and behold, there were no robotics team in South Fulton in 2014, and we were staying in Fairburn. So for those who aren't from Atlanta, Fairburn is literally probably 20, 30 minutes outside of the city of Atlanta. So for there to be no robotics team says a lot about the atmosphere of the STEM community, specifically robotics, back in that age. So at the time we went to Girl Scouts, my mom and I, we wrote a letter and was just like, hey, we're interested in starting one of the first all girls robotics team here in Atlanta. And it was like, sure, well, you need a team of at least 4 or 5 girls and we'll offer you a grant. And then we'll have the Boy Scouts collaborate, build you guys your robotics table,
wow.
and we'll send you all the equipment
No
so that you
way.
can compete. And we were just like,
Were you shocked?
okay.
You must have been shocked.
Yeah, I was really young. So my mom, she was more excited and more like, okay, well, this is really happening. At the time, she's a mother. She's still working a full-time job. She was an accountant at the time. So still trying to make means and still just, do the things to make sure her kid is successful. And so then the hunt became to look for other girls who were interested in robotics in 2014, other than myself. And so I went to school the next day or like over the course of days, was just telling people about it. And you kind of get those like, oh, it sounds good, but we're kids. You got to get permission from parents. So then that took my mom extra work, reaching out to other parents at the Girl Scouts community. So getting that legwork, explaining to them the importance of why this is so pivotal for them or why they should definitely, look into it. And so finally, we were able to get at least 4 girls. And I think we were called the Techniques.
The techniques, okay.
Yes, the Techniques, and then I was a part of another robotics group called Robotics. And so we spent a whole like semester after class. We'll be coming to meet at my house for robotics practice. We'll go meet up at other people's houses for robotics practice. I was the lead programmer. You had everybody who had their own little roles.
What is the coolest robotic story that you have?
I would say this, well, this not a robot. It's more like an algorithm. It's an OpenCV yarn detector. So it helps me keep a collection of how much yarn I buy, how much I spend on yarn, how much like I'll use it and then I need to put it back. So it helps me stay organized. That was probably the most popular video I ever posted on TikTok as well. It's probably got 100,000 views. Everybody wants the source code for it
Yeah, yeah.
and or a collaboration process of how I did it. And like I said, on my TikTok, I post tutorials and longer format videos. So that was definitely the coolest. And then after that, I took off my door handle on my door in my room
Okay.
and I replaced it with a digital one so that
Oh,
I can
nice.
lock my door with a keypad. And that was cool. I made that with an Arduino.
Is
And
your mom okay with that? That you put a
yeah, she
different
had to be. She wasn't, like I said, since I was 7, she understood that I'll break things and put it back together. So when I moved out, I took it off and I put the old door handle back on so I could take my digital with me.
Very funny.
So
Very
that was
funny.
definitely my favorite project. And anytime I just get to teach people how to use the technologies, that's always a fun time. It's like opening the door up for things they never discovered or seen, like the simplest things like 3D printing, how I think that's so simple to me or it's been around for ages. And you show one person how to do it, they're hooked. And that's all it takes for me. I'm excited that you love it.
Yeah, it's intoxicating, especially someone who really likes it. I want to go back to what you were talking about teaching thousands of kids. Um, that was mostly the programming aspect that you were teaching. What was the feeling on that? Because obviously, your mom helped you, and like it's fulfilling, and people have helped you along the way. What was it like for you helping those kids?
It was very like, it's inspiring looking back on it in the moment. It was really just all out of love. Like, the love for people, I just wanted people to understand. I love the notion of when people have their aha moment, like I got it, especially kids. It hits a little bit different when you catch a kid falling in love with a new interest that they didn't think they can do, especially when it's kinda, like, academically driven. They kinda usually shy away from those because, like, the maths and the science, like, I really don't wanna do those. A lot of kids don't like it. So if you can convince a child to love any aspect of math and science, you've done a great thing. So I would feel really proud, especially when I was working with younger girls, all the way up into like the middle school, high school age. Cause like once they get around middle school and high school, they're usually really decisive of like what they don't want to try. And so if you can catch them in their elementary, middle school era, you got a good thing going. So
How do you grab their attention? Because I'm thinking about this, and I'm just thinking of a story about I spoke at a technical school, and the kids were on high school, and I said, "How am I going to reach their attention?" Like, and I went to my kids. So I have a daughter who's 8 and a son who's 11. I said, "How do I grab their attention within 5 seconds? Because I know I'm going to lose their attention." They said, "Dad, you got to talk about cell phones. You got to talk about Fortnite. You got to talk about Xbox." I'm like, "You sure?" You're like, "Yeah."
teacher.
So like boom, I get up within 5 seconds. I'm talking about Fortnite. Everybody starts
Everybody,
laughing.
you got
And
their
then,
attention.
and then I was talking about how the skilled trades
Oh,
promote Wi-Fi, and they support everything. And what if Wi-Fi went down, you wouldn't be able to get like, and they were all laughing. And it's just really funny about trying to grab the attention of the younger generation. Because if you don't grab their attention, they're lost doing.
they're lost, and that's why, like, especially once they get a little bit after middle school, I've noticed that disconnect because I've had to go through that too. It got to the point where I was even considering like pedagogy classes, like how to teach. What is the art of teaching? Because it's like I need to know those things because like the high schoolers, like you said, you have to be able to relate to them. You have to make those connections. So I was big on story times, like telling stories when I was in high school, so they understand I'm not too far from where you guys were or where you guys are right now. So we're not that far in age. Like my story can still be yours and vice versa. So being relatable, being authentic, like you said, making little jokes with them. You can't be boring. You have to put a smile on their face. And they love, love, love things that are hands on. You have to bring something that is directly related to whatever it is you're talking about. So if we're talking about robots, you better have a robot on that stage or something. If we're talking about 3D printers, I better see some 3D prints or something printed live so that they can see it. This generation, we're all about what we can see, what we document. If it's not documented, it never happened.
Well, I'm thinking about also engaging kids through
Yes.
the VR experience, so like
Yes.
gamification.
Yes.
And there's a couple companies here. One is a company called Transfer, and you could be a welder, you can be a lineman, you can do robot. I think you can do robot. You can do a few different things in a VR world, and kids love games. So if you bring that in and you're showcasing to these kids what it's like to work with your hands, it's one thing for them to show them something, but to put on the experience in the goggles, and all of a sudden you're in that world.
Right. And then they actually and make that connection to how there's actually actual jobs like robot technicians where you're just monitoring and making sure that the robots are doing what they're supposed to, starting out $60,000 to $70,000. Now you have a story, now you have a connection, now you helping the student create a goal so that they want to fulfill. And that gives them a roadmap to, okay, this is where I'm trying to go. And you see how you just from experience to connection to example, now you have a goal and you have somewhere you're trying to get to. And so that's why I'm like exposure is a big thing too, but also pointing students in the right directions. Like noticing their strengths and weaknesses, what they're good at and what they're not, and leveraging those.
And also meeting where your audience is. We talked about obviously we're, a partnership with SkillsUSA and TikTok, and we're one of the creators on that. When did you start your TikTok journey? long ago?
Believe it or not, I'm about to be 1 year
1
next
year.
July. 1
Congratulations.
year. Thank you so much. And it's been a journey, like just the journey of social media content creator. When I started my TikTok, it wasn't with the purpose of, oh, I'm just gonna be #1 STEM creator, or I just wanna, it wasn't any of that. It was just like, I made this thing, I wanna show other people. And if they're interested, cool. If they're not, I still gotta keep posting just so I don't lose it. And so I posted like after my second video, I got like 100,000 views, and I was absolutely shocked at the number of people who actually cared about STEM on TikTok, like that app, at that app specifically. And I was just getting my DM flooded with questions about who I am, what do I do, how am I so young, and the fact that I'm just building all these things, what's next. And so people started inquiring more about me. And so I'm like, okay, so it's not just the fact that the skill in itself. It's like you said, it's being authentic, having that personality, being human, like talking about your days when you don't, when you're not doing good, when you're not feeling good, when you're not feeling like that talented creative that everybody sees you as. And so I feel like that's what really separated me when it comes to like personal branding is like, I'll be real with you. I'll be honest, and I'll tell you about my failures.
That's
I'll
not
tell
always easy
you,
for everybody.
yeah, it's not. I'll tell you about my failures. I'll tell you about how things aren't working out, where I need help. A lot of people don't even know how to ask for help in these communities, in these spaces. But I noticed too, sometimes I don't even have to ask. People like you guys will find me and offer the help and the support. And it's like things that I've prayed for. And it's like like it feels good to be noticed and recognized. It's like, especially when I wasn't even anticipating that. It's like I wasn't even anticipating like from a year ago, I wasn't even thinking that you guys would even know who I was. And yeah, so it's just like the power of social media, the power of connection, or just like those days when I didn't even want to post, or where I was like, should I delete this? I only got 3 views in an hour. Or like you'll have your malfunction. It's like I could have gave up then, but you see where that would have left me, like, you know? So it's gotta like, you gotta keep pushing, you gotta keep going, you gotta keep making those posts. And like I said, documentation is important. So if you didn't post it, it didn't happen. That was kind of like the mindset I had a year before graduating. Like, I need to build my resume, I need a portfolio. So LinkedIn is great as well, but I want to do TikTok. So I chose TikTok, and that's where it's been great. Like it's been amazing, not just for like the connection and the opportunities that is created, but just more so, like I said, that resume or building your portfolio or having something where you're keeping a record of the things that you're learning, your failures, where you're getting better, some of your strengths. So it's just it's an amazing opportunity. And I'm really glad that I chose this platform to start that journey on, because the way it just exemplified itself, I was not expecting or ready, but I had no choice but to get ready.
Well, people follow personalities. And today it's about personal brand, and you need to be obviously out there, and especially, like on a TikTok and some other platforms. But I remember sort of my journey where I was struggling on that platform and I couldn't grow. The videos I were doing were too edited. It was too perfect. And we talked about authenticity. And one day I was like, okay, I'm just going to talk to the camera. So I just did this video and I said something like, welding is a dying career. And I started throwing out statistics, and it won to 3 million views. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, okay, that's better. And I started doing it. And all of a sudden I was like, my followers started to go up, as you probably said. And it's like,
Interactions, comments,
like, oh
questions,
my God, there's
shares.
heavy engagement here. The more raw the video is, the better it does. So if you're listening to this, and obviously if you want to grow your own personal brand as well, be more authentic. Don't be so edited where it's just too perfect, because people can't relate.
Yeah.
Because
And
we're human.
yeah. And people also have short attention spans. So grab your attention while you can. Like you said, you start off with a strong hook. Welding is a dying field. You have people's attention because what do you mean by that? So if you're looking into personal branding, I'm pretty sure it's a whole episode we can get into tips and tricks that I've been trying to learn and understand myself. So that's something I'll be definitely interested in with you one
Yeah,
day.
it's a wild ride. I'm
It's a
sure
wild
it's just a
ride,
wild ride.
and I'm still learning. But the only thing I can say, like I keep telling everyone else, is just keep posting. If you have a dream, if you're interested in content creation, if you're interested in any form of art that requires you to put yourself out there on social media, just do it. Even the days where you don't feel like doing it, do it. Because you could wake up and that next video can be your lucky video. So
Yeah, it could change everything for
it could
you.
change everything for you. So
Well, I love following your journey, and I'll continue following your journey. If people want to find out more about Destiny, where do they go to find you?
Yes, on TikTok, IoT Lab 616. Again, that's IoT Lab, and that stands for Internet of Things 616, which is my birthday. And yeah, I'm on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube as well. I'll have longer formatted videos, tutorials, product reviews, all that good stuff there.
Very cool.
And my DMs are always open, so feel free to send me questions and all that good stuff.
If I want to leave you with one last question. If you can speak to somebody who's a little bit younger and is struggling, has been in your sort of position, what advice would you give them?
Be kind to yourself, be gentle, be patient, and understand that it's a journey. To want something is one thing, to have the work ethic, to build that resilience, and to be able to face adversity, that's going to come with time and skills and age. So don't be too hard on yourself to have this great aspirations and be so quick to want to do it and fulfill it that you lose the process. You lose the journey of it. Like that's very important. We like to just get to where we're going and that just be it. And then everything else about the process we hate. No, slow down, enjoy it. Don't rush yourself to grow up fast. Still be a kid, still be a teen, but just know you have your own priorities and you have focus. Create that balance. It's all about balance. Don't overindulge in one other than the other. Being too much of a kid versus trying to be too much of a career professional. Like you have to find that perfect balance that works for you. And remember, what works for one person doesn't work for the other. So know yourself. Take the time to understand what works for you. Understand your triggers. Understand when you're getting stressed and how to relieve those in healthy ways. So just be patient. Don't be so hard on yourself. Don't compare yourself to anyone else's journey. You got this. This is your world. Create it and build it. We're the innovators for the future. So take control of your future. Use your skilled trades to be the person you want to be.
I love that. And it is about patience. And a lot of kids want instant gratification.
Instant gratification.
What's delayed gratification, right? Look, it might take you a couple years. You've been on this journey for a couple years, but look how far you've come. And, you keep the gas down on the throttle and you keep moving forward and you fail here, but you get better here. And it is about the patience and it is about the journey.
The journey. You'll fall in love with it. Just like I said, don't be too hard on yourself. Don't compare yourself. It's easy to fall in love with what we see on social media, but forget that. Stay focused on your own path and you will be a lot happier that way.
Awesome stuff. Destiny, it has been a blast to have you on the show. And thank you so
Yes.
much.
Thank you so much for having me, and I look forward to coming with you next time.
Likewise.